Hello, everyone. Matt Malatesta, Jackson DiPasquale. This is On My Whistle. We are talking state semifinals. We are down to it. We're going to talk statewide. Let's talk statewide. Huge games this week. How does Waco get all these good games, man? Waco, I guess it's in the middle of the state, but they get all these good games. But let's start with the number one game in the city of Houston. North Shore plays Westlake at Legacy and Katy at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Is anybody beating North Shore? I'm not sure. They looked awesome. Their quarterback, Caleb Bailey, looks amazing. The defense looks great. Farrakhan, the move in from the Woodlands, is blowing up. Their special teams is amazing. I think they're going to take down Westlake by a couple of touchdowns. They can't turn the ball over. Sometimes they're their own worst enemy. DeAndre Hardiman running the ball. That defense is hitting people. So my take is this. North Shore advances to the state championship again. This is the 7th season in a row they've been to the state semifinals at least. That's unprecedented. So, Jackson DiPasquale, what say you?
Yeah, I think this is a big game. I don't think that Westlake is the same team they had last year as far as explosiveness on offense. The quarterback, Reese Wise, is pretty good. I watched that kind of game against Lake Travis. They had trouble blocking up front in the passing game. It was mainly a lot of running with Reese Wise. That's a little concerning when you're playing North Shore and they're able to get after the passer, and with the linebackers and the safeties that they have, they're not going to let you just run all over them as a quarterback. So I don't like the matchup for Westlake. I think North Shore has been on a tear and has been on a mission to get back to Jerry's World this year. So I'm going to pick North Shore by 21. That is my score prediction. Though I think this is a good Westlake team, I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw this week with this North Shore team. And you brought up Quanell Farrakhan Jr. He's having a great year. He broke the single-season touchdown receiving record for North Shore. He holds the touchdown receiving record at the Woodlands from last year. So now he's broken 2 records, 2 different schools. He's having a big year. Caleb Bailey had a big game. Had 250 yards rushing, about 180 yards passing last week. I think that they're just on another level right now to get back to Jerry's World and avenge last year's loss.
Caleb Bailey looks different right now. He looks faster, stronger, more confident, more willing to take punishment. He's looking legit. Don't forget, Austin Westlake lost to Atascocita in the first game or second game of the year. Atascocita went up there. And what happened to North Shore Atascocita?
It was 49-21 was the final score.
They beat him 2 times this season. Last week it was the most important game. So that's game 1. Game 2, Duncanville North Crowley is going to be a dogfight, my dog. What do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting matchup. This is North Crowley team. Last year was a little bit outmatched in this game, but like kind of North Shore, they have a different mentality this year. They know what they can do. The quarterback, Chris Jimerson, has been amazing this year. The wide receiver, who just committed to Colorado, Gibson, he has been phenomenal. One of the most, if not the most electric player in all of high school football this year has been this kid. After watching Duncanville the past 2 weeks, they've been
super impressive.
Not really. I mean, they've given up the big play, and that's a little bit concerning. The offense is awesome. The offense is awesome. When you have Keelan Russell back there throwing the ball, you have DeCorian Moore, you have Zach Turner, you have Trenton Yancey, who transferred in this year. They're electric on offense. Defensively, though, I don't know if they can keep up with the speed for North Crowley. And North Crowley has some dudes on defense, too. I'm picking North Crowley because this team has been on a mission this year. It's going to be a close game, though.
I'm going to go Duncanville just because they're going for the 3rd straight state championship. That's a big deal. And don't get lost on that. They want that. And look, when you have a Keelan Russell, who's a 5-star quarterback going to Bama, and a super receiver in DeCorian Moore, they want to leave that legacy. They don't want to be that team that stopped the drought, right? Or not stop the streak of state championships. I think you had something we talked about the other day is if Duncanville wins, Could this be the last game for Coach Samples? Does he ride off in the sunset, Reginald Samples, the legendary coach there, with 3 state championships?
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes coaches kind of feel that itch to maybe want to come back. He's been doing it a long time. Obviously, has had a lot of success. And you look at his coaching tree. I mean, he's got a lot of head coaches across the Dallas area, but also across the state that were at some time under his staff. Another team that we're going to talk about here in a second has one of them. But I think if they win it all, for sure, I would put probability very high if they win 3 in a row. But you never know. We'll see.
Man, go to the beach, go play golf, go fishing, whatever you do, go have some fun, man. But I know he really loves to coach high school football, and he does a great job at it, and is a great mentor. Okay, Summer Creek, Vandergrift. Summer Creek makes the state championship last year, loses to DeSoto. DeSoto got blown out by Longview. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think Summer Creek takes down Vandergrift. I just feel like Summer Creek's district schedule is the Legion of Doom when you got to play Sea King, Kingwood, North Shore, Atascocita. You're not going to see a better stretch of games at all anywhere in the state of Texas. So I think Summer Creek is grizzled. Their quarterback is just throwing dimes right now. Really good receivers. Their defense is solid up front. Solid up front. So I think they're going to take down Vandergrift, Austin, San Antonio.
They've got a good defense, but I'm with you. I think Blake Thomas, the quarterback for Summer Creek, has really grown and developed this year. He might not be a quarterback at the next level going to Lamar, but he's really developed this year, and he's the leader of this offense. He gets it going with his legs. He can throw the ball really well through the air. But their running game has also been really good with the 2 kind of running back punch they got there. You look at Benny Easter, one of the wide receivers there. He's having a big year. Trey Brown. Being able to get the ball to these playmakers and also having a playmaker at quarterback that you can do different things with. He's very dynamic. I really like what they're doing right now. They're, like North Shore, are trying to avenge that loss. Now, DeSoto lost, so they're not on the other side anymore, but that doesn't change the mission for this year's team. I think that they go in and they beat Vandergrift this week, and they stamp their ticket to state.
Agreed. We're going Summer Creek. The alarm. Oh my gosh. The alarm's going off. You know what that means? We've got to talk about Longview. Longview, what a tremendous shock the world moment last week when they dismantled DeSoto. It was in the rain, but who cares? It's raining on both sides of the field. They really flexed. Longview has been a proud program a long time in deep East Texas. And I tell you what, they've got South Lake this week. Pretty boys from South Lake, Carroll. I think Longview gets it done because they are physical, smash-mouthy, and they're riding a high after beating DeSoto. The only thing you got to protect against is that, hey, are you riding too high? Do you think, oh my gosh, the job is done. We beat DeSoto, we're going to cruise. I think they can get past that. Coaches will get them right. I think Longview beats South Lake to advance to play Summer Creek in the final.
Yeah, Coach King, awesome job he's done there this year. You know, he, after post-game, he had a question saying, you know, Coach, you just beat DeSoto, one of the state favorites. They've won state back-to-back. And he had even said, if you would have told me we would beat DeSoto by 50 points, I would have said, there's no way.
Right.
But he didn't lack confidence in his team winning. He just didn't think the margin of score would be that way. The running back, Kelvin Washington, was awesome on Saturday for that Longview offense. He's going to need to be the same way this week, have a big game for them on the ground. This is a very good South Lake Carroll team, though, that also advanced to the state semis last year, losing to DeSoto. This is another team that's kind of on that mission right now to try to get back to Jerry's world. I think this is a close game. I'm picking South Lake Carroll in this game. I think they've got too much star power to go against this Longview team, though.
Just think of the teams we mentioned. Duncanville, North Shore, Westlake, Summer Creek, South Lake, Longview. These are all brand name Texas high school football teams over decades and decades. So it's kind of cool to see all these powers remain powers. One power that is not there is Aledo. Aledo in 5A gets knocked off by Denton Ryan, who plays Highland Park. Wow, what a big game to knock off Aledo. Highland Park, they kind of do it balanced. They can run the ball, but they're also really good at passing. I think Denton Ryan just has too much firepower. Denton Ryan, to me, is a 6A school playing in 5A.
Yeah, Denton Ryan, their offensive line is awesome. They got Ty Haywood, the Alabama signee. Then they got Marcus Garcia on the other side. He's going to A&M. They're huge up front. They're going to establish their run game. They'll do some play action over the top of that, and defensively, they're very good. So I'm liking Denton Ryan in this game. I think Denton Ryan's coming off that Aledo win. You carry on that confidence, and you win this week to advance the state.
Angleton, who would have thought?
Story of Houston.
Playing Smithson Valley. Angleton, man, they're really pretty good. Their offense is kind of dynamic. They got a really good quarterback who can throw to a bevy of receivers. They got 3 or 4 receivers that are legit. And then you've got their defense can run. People forget Angleton has had some of the best high school to college players and then college to pros. They've got some pros that have been in the NFL dating back for 10 to 20 years. So watch out for Angleton. I think Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs is the one that comes to mind. He went to Texas, played defensive back, and has been 10 years in the NFL. From Angleton. Smithson Valley, I don't know.
Yeah, this is Smithson Valley team that went to state last year and lost to Aledo. Can Angleton carry on what they've been doing the past few weeks? Last week, I believe they were down in that LaPorte game, made a huge 4th down stop on the goal line, which helped gave them momentum to win that game against LaPorte. So can you carry that momentum on from last week and not let the high of the win affect you preparing for this week's game? Because this week's game is just as important.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to pick Angleton in a close one. I think they come off this momentum that they're on, and they advance to the state championship game.
I'm going to go Smithson Valley, Denton Ryan in that
5A D1.
5A D1. D2, Randall beats Iowa Colony
in overtime.
In a close game. Too close for comfort. And they play Bernie. Bernie well coached. They do everything right. They're kind of like a Katy, let's call them. They live in a cool town, little Bernie, little sleepy town. You're thinking, ain't nobody playing football in Bernie. They're drinking wine. They're hanging out. They're riding in their boats. They're like wake surfing around. They're riding on the river. Bernie has been pretty good over the past couple of years. Randall is the newcomer. Brian Randall, the coach there, this would be monumental for Lamar Consolidated ISD for them to win or get to the state championship. It's been a minute. It makes me nervous at the game last week with Iowa Colony. They're a little one-dimensional on offense. They run the ball a lot. I think in a sleeper, Bernie wins this game because they're more used to the bright lights and they're a little bit more diverse what they do on offense.
As the great Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend.
Okay.
I think that Randall, they had a close game. Iowa Colony had kind of figured it out. That was an early district game that they lost to them. They've been great the past few weeks. This was a great matchup. Randall's defensive lineman, Chase Sims, is he's the game wrecker on defense. He had the strip sack to close out that game. And then also Keelan Sweeney on offense. He had two touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving. He can do it all for them. And it frees up Landon Williams-Callis. Though he might not have had the stats that he's had throughout the rest of the playoffs and the regular season, he was still effective having big gains, big first down runs, breaking tackles, using his speed. I think this Randall team, you go through a game like that where it's like you just kind of let out a sigh, let out a deep breath. Okay, we got through it. Now let's lock in again, and we're going to get to the state game. I think Randall wins by 3 touchdowns.
Damn. Okay,
I think that defense is too good, and you're setting up a really good matchup for the state championship game.
I think you've changed my mind. You have changed my mind. I'm going Randall. Let's go. Randall, oh man. I'm going to go Randall also now that you said that. I forgot about Chase Sims and how good their defense can be. But Iowa Colony just put a scare in me. And we had that TV game on a Thursday night, and man, they crushed Iowa Colony. Anywho, we'll go into Argyle versus South Oak Cliff. South Oak Cliff. They come to Houston, they play North Shore, they get destroyed. But North Shore is awesome.
Then they play Duncanville.
They start off slow. They took some lumps early on. So now they're dishing out some lumps, which is, they took care of P&G kind of easily.
Yeah, I mean, it was not close.
Right. So now they've got Argyle, another traditional power, which we love to see, and really a battle of Dallas in D2 5A.
Yeah, it'll be a battle. I think Sox, they're another team that's on a mission. I mean, they did not like the taste in their mouth losing in their city to P&G. They expressed that distaste last week, putting up big numbers on P&G, and their defense was able to hold P&G's offense to below 20 points, I believe. So I really like what Sox are doing. They play those non-district games against Duncanville and North Shore to prepare them for this moment. I think that they win, and they set up a really interesting matchup with Randall. These have been two of the top teams in the state from both cities.
Dallas again.
Yes, Houston, Dallas. I think that Sock wins big this week.
Okay, well, there you have it. We need you to like and subscribe to our podcasts, which are popping, and like our YouTube channel because we're doing some tremendous work as it relates to game coverage and highlights of the game. So game ends, bam, you want to check out our YouTube page because we got the hottest stuff. Alex Henson on fire. Videographer, he's burnt. His camera's on. He's the camera, and the camera's hot because it's so much fire. As well as Jackson DiPasquale, the camera, hot. So, with that being said, follow us also on all of our social media channels because we'll be at all these games giving you amazing raw coverage. Okay, Matt Malatesta, Jackson DiPasquale, you are watching On My Whistle.